I've been able to take class with my teacher a little bit more lately, and there's been like a bunch of things that we've been like that we talk about with alignment and yoga, and because it's not really conducive to having a very like centered, calming practice, most teachers don't just sit there and like give the whole laundry list of reasons why you want to have like your knee lined up above your ankle, and like why you might want to put your hand on the inside or the outside of your leg, depending on how all of this stuff goes. And we lose a little bit in that space when we kind of like when we don't examine the why of why we're doing things. It's like I talk about with forward folds. Like the purpose of a forward fold is not to completely fold yourself in half and be able to put your face on your legs. The purpose of a forward fold is to lengthen and relax the back side of the body. There's also a felt sense of turning inwards, of having this like comforting closure, self-analyzing, self-directed energy. There's so many reasons why you do it. And when we focus on the reasons why, and when we examine and question and dig into the reasons why, that's when we have a deep practice. Not when you have a perfect forward fold, not when you have a perfect handstand. The practice deepens and has more of a lasting, resounding effects on our bodies and our minds when we ask questions, when we get deep into those ideas. And so that's why we get a little bit nerdy about some things sometimes, so that we can really dig in, we can really investigate. There's a Pablo Picasso quote that I love. I'm reading it off of my wall. The meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. Like most of us don't find our gift just by it being left on our doorstep, like the instruction manual we talked about last week that none of us actually got. We find these gifts by examining, by asking questions, like what really resonates with me? What do I find a big pull to give into the world? And we have to ask questions in order to get there. Well, we'll get a little nerdy today and see what we can find as gifts in our bodies. So take your index finger and thumb together, coming into the center of your forehead, brush outwards towards your temples a few times. Somebody needs attention. Going from the sides of your nose out to your temples, along your cheekbones, and the temples down to your chin, along your jawline. And the sides of your nose down to your chin, along your laugh lines. Massaging underneath and behind your ears, so you're feeling for the soft spots back there, and then lifting up from the bony spots. And the why of the face brushing is to stimulate and soften the tissues in the face where we hold a lot of emotions and feelings and memories. So we come into this practice a little bit clearer. We lift up from behind the ears because that's where the skull and the spine come together, so it's just a good anatomy cue. Resting your hands down into your lap or on your cat or dog. And take a few deep breaths. Center into the body to build up this steady flow of inhale and exhale that will carry you through practice, except for the times where it doesn't, where you lose your breath or can't remember how much you've been breathing lately, and then you just come back to it. Another big breath in through your nose. Big exhale through your mouth. Again, like that. For 3. wider knees, toes towards each other. Crawl your arms out in front of you. Rest your head and give a little glide of your hips side to side. Now, if this bothers your knees, if it doesn't feel useful or interesting, then leave it alone. But if it feels kind of okay, it could be a good way to create some movement and loosen up the lower back to get this gentle shift and glide. And then after a few more shifts and glides, go ahead and rest your head down on your mat and take 2 deep breaths. Up, you're going to lift yourself up, let your knees are above, or your hips are above your knees, maybe wiggle your knees in a little bit closer, and then crawl your hands out in front of you until you're down hard onto the floor. Madam Jezebel, please stop trying to keep that back. And then you're going to come up onto your fingertips, rolling your elbows down towards the floor. So we're doing this to create a little bit more wide open space in the upper back, and we're doing that because the more wide open and broad and expansive the body is, the more powerful we are. The more muscles we're opening. You can go ahead and relax your hands down now and then start to let your heart fall down towards the floor. Maybe you let your tailbone roll upwards a little bit more. One more exhale. And sliding the hands in, your table pose, and then work through a few cat and cow, looking upwards as you breathe in, rounding the spine as you breathe out. Around those backbones a little bit more, getting the spine loosened up. And take another round. And come back towards a more neutral spine. We're going to slide the right foot back, but keep your toes on the floor. And then start rocking back and forth so that you're stretching out the bones in your feet, and you're also working around your calf. Get a little more flexible. And then you'll take the right leg and slide it over towards the left. So you're going to cross the body and take the right hand further forward. Push down into that right hand. You're going to get a little bit of stretch on the outside of your shoulder and a little bit more stretch on the outside of what we call our side pants. One more exhale. And then you're going to slide your right leg all the way out to the right. And you want to bring it up to where it's kind of in line with your hip here. I've got the pinky toe edge of my foot down to stretch the outside of the shin. And you can stay here, or you can come down onto elbows, maybe even letting your heart really melt down like that puppy dog pose again. And decide on your level, letting the tailbone roll up and back. One more exhale. And then come up onto your hands. We're going to bring this right foot forward outside of the hands wide so that we can breathe your arms down. And I've got more room in the hips. I'm going to roll the toe and knee out. Keep your left foot a little further forward. Let your hips move forward. Release the hip flexor. So you can decide to move right to your right arm and then push down and go in. Once the heart is up a little bit more open. Your left leg on the floor behind you, so the leg on, and rock back and forth, toes, feet a little more flexible and getting the calf stretched out. Sliding your foot over towards the right side, take your left hand further forward, push into that hand so you're opening up that left side of your body, feeling that stretch all the way down, mostly through the outside of your left foot. One more breath out. And then you slide that left leg all the way out to the left, so it's roughly in line with your hip and your knee. And let the pinky toe edge of the foot come downwards to stretch the outer shin. Come down to forearms if that feels good to you. Slide it out towards puppy dog in the upper body if that feels good to you. One more breath out. And start to walk the hands back in. You're going to bring the left foot up outside of the left hand now, and then turn the knee and the toe out so the whole leg is rotated. Right hand forward, hips forward, left hand to the left thigh. And push down in both hands. With this pressure, you'll start to feel the heart lifting up and opening, and then you might take your left arm and reach it back. Think of taking up a lot of space here. Think of opening up everywhere that you can. Maybe a little bit more energy behind this. Big breath in. Big breath out. And turning yourself back to face forward. We're going to bring both knees in and then come down to laying on your belly into Sphinx pose. With the elbows underneath shoulders for the next act. Take your left hand, make a fist, bring it over towards your right hand. Why do you make a fist? You can make your arm already in the idea that it should try to be a little stronger. And then bend into your right leg, reach back and back for your foot. If you want to grab a strap or a sock or anything at all to hold on to that foot instead, you're welcome. You need to try to turn your chest forward again. Keep pushing down to that strong left arm. And just gently press the foot back into your hand. This is going to get a little bit more into the front of your chest when you're pushing with the foot. More exhale. And change it up a little bit. You try to bring the foot down towards your thumb. The arm is doing the work now, and the leg is doing the stretch, particularly towards the thigh. Strong still in that left arm. One more exhale. And gently release that leg. Come back into Sphinx pose. So both hands are forward, elbows are under shoulders. And then make your fist with your right hand, bring it to your left elbow. Bend the left leg, reach back and catch it. We're going to start by pushing the foot back into the hands. We're stretching out through the front of the chest. Still reaching that right arm down into the floor so that it lifts us back up. One more exhale. And then you're going to use the arm to pull your leg in a little bit closer towards your tush. And even if it doesn't actually change the positioning of your leg, the intention is changing the way that we feel it. One more breath in. Deep breath out. Gently release that leg. Come back into Sphinx pose for a moment. Keep pushing down in your elbows. Relax your head down. And then see if you can give a little bit more permission for your head to relax. And then pick your head back up. Go ahead and widen your elbows. Come down to laying on your belly. You can rest your forehead or a cheek. Right behind your shoulders, so in a little bit further back
Pick your belly up and then push yourself up off of the floor and curl yourself back towards child's pose. One more exhale. Then looking forward, you're going to lift yourself up and then come down onto your forearms. Tuck your knees in nice and close. Pull your hips back, and you're going to use your booty coming forward to lift your elbows up. And then go back again. So the words are more complicated than it is. You're just going to look forward, push your hands down, get your heart above your thumbs. Okay. So you did it on your knees, and lift the knees up. And then look forward. You're going to use your legs to push yourself up. And then try it one more time. Sometimes you got to go like one arm before the other. But see if you can get your knees up and just... And then back to down dog. Once you're up there. Strong in the upper back. Relaxed in the heels. Light in the tail feathers. Big breath in. Big breath out. And relax your knees down, untuck your toes, go ahead and sit back. Push your hands out a couple of times. We're going to interlace the fingers, move the wrists and the fists about a bit, and use the fingers to massage the hands. Take your hands back down, planting them and pushing back into downward facing dog. We're going to take the right leg up, bend the knee so that your right knee is the highest thing up on your body, and tuck your heel in towards your left, or in towards your tush, the whole thing. And then maybe you can reach that right knee up a little bit higher, especially if you push down strong into your hands. And then set both feet back down. We'll switch sides, take your left leg up, bend into your knee, open up the front of that thigh. Tuck your heel in towards your tush. Push down in both hands, especially the left hand, because it kind of loses a little bit of its power. Maybe that left knee lifts up a little bit higher, and then set the foot down, and then lower your knees. You're going to take your right foot forward. Once you get your right foot forward, lift your body up, and you want to make sure that your hips are in front of your back knee. Why? We want to stretch out the front side of the body here. So I'm going to keep pushing down in this foot. It's going to give me a little bit more lift, a little bit more strength, and then take your arms up. See if you can interlace your fingers and press your palms up, and press towards like the overhead luggage space, not exactly overhead. And we're going to press up through those hands. And then wrap the elbows further forward. You might be a little bit more spacious around the back of your neck. Try that again. Inhale, press those hands up. Exhale, feel the outer armpits wrapping forward. You want to keep reaching out as much as possible, not necessarily back behind you. Take a big breath in. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, reach them out. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, reach them out. Exhale, lower the arm all the way down. And then slide your right leg back. And take your left foot forward, and come on out. That hip slightly in front of the back of the bottom knee. We've done this with a block on the back a lot, having this reaching out. It's very similar. It's the same, not similar, it's the same. Take your hands, interlace your fingers, and press them out. So I've got my hips going forward, my heart going up. I'm going to reach outward through those arms, wrap the elbows forward as much as I can. Another time, inhale. Exhale, see about reaching those elbows out. One more big breath in, and then exhale, relax the arms down. Inhale, lift them up, long spine. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale up. And then exhale, hands go down. We're going to wiggle the left foot a little bit wider and just step the right foot outside of the right hand as we come into the squat. squat here, or you can lower your squat down a little bit more if that feels good to you. I've got my hands at my heart. Reach the hips down and back away from the rest of your body, depending on no matter which shape that you are in. And we'll take hands down. From the low squat, you might have to lift your heels a little bit to come up. We're gonna wiggle the feet in, hip width apart. Let yourself relax into a fold. A little bend into your knees, roll it all the way up. I'm gonna take your left foot back. Go find warrior one. When you get there, reach your arms up. Get your heart lifted. Feel the heart lifting all the way up through your arms. And then keep the heart lifted, just swoop your arms back behind you. So keep reaching the arms back nice and strong, like you got a lot of energy in your fingertips. And then push down a little bit more into your front foot. You want this hip to be going down towards your back foot. Why? To keep this leg a little stronger in the knee in line. And then keep that strong pressure down in your front foot with the hip going back as you take your heart forward over your thigh. Big breath in. Big breath out. Come on up. Swoop the arms up. Bend into your left elbow. Hold on to it and reach that elbow up. Maybe your heart goes a little bit further forward. A little bit more space in the front of that left thigh. Big breath in. Exhale. Relax your left arm. Release your arm. And then see if you can take one step up to both feet in front of your mat. And reach your arms up. And then hands down. And switch sides. So warrior one in the other way. So right foot back with the toes turned up slightly. Reach your arms up and feel both feet pressing down. As you push both feet down, you might feel all of you rising up away from the floor a bit more, especially through that center. I've got my heart lifted, arms up. I'm just gonna swoop the arms back, but keep the heart lifted up. And then keep pushing down in that front foot so the legs stay stable and the heart stays open as you reach forward. One more exhale. Swoop the arms up. Bend into your right elbow, hold the elbow and reach up. Push down really strong into your back foot. One more exhale. Wind it, release your arms. Try to take one step up to the front of your mat. Reach up and exhale. We're going to take a few half sun salutations and half flows. Try to find this exchange between the opening up of the body, especially when you lift the arms and have that slight movement of the hips forward. It's going to lengthen and extend the belly and the hip flexors a lot here. That's our effort, that's our purpose. So we'll inhale, reach those arms up, feel the weight go slightly forward into your toes. Exhale, fold, and the intention of a fold is to relax the back half of the body. So find that effort in this. And then the inhale, halfway up, so you're just gonna take your heart up. You're gonna reach your tailbone back and your heart forward, a little bit more of that front leg. Exhale, soften the back side again. And then inhale, reach the arms up, feel your hips moving forward, heart up. Exhale, hands at your heart. And two more, maybe a little single, maybe not. Inhale, reach it up. And forward, exhale, hold it softly and inhale, heart up, tailbone back. Exhale, folding in, all the way up, inhale, heart forward and up, exhale, hands to your heart. Again, inhale, reaching all the way up. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding, all the way up, inhale. Exhale, and then take one leg back. If you have a harder floor and you want to fold your mat over a few more times, a little extra push, go for it. And then you're going to come onto the toenail side of your foot. And if This is enough just for you to stretch your foot. Just gonna hang on your stretch your foot, on the wall or a friend or something like that. It's gonna help you. If you can get this leg all the way back, I'm moving on my standing foot. You might start to straighten or straight-ish this leg. Then I'm gonna keep driving my standing foot down into the floor so I lift up and forward and sit. And then take the arms up and out. And then I'm going to lift from my heart up into my hands, like back when you're reaching the block up and out some days. In this open, circular kind of energy. One more big breath in. Release. Your feet, switch to the other side. Flip it over. You're going to spend a moment where the leg is bent, okay? Weird foot thing. Made it through the other side. We'll probably make it through this side. Maybe the leg gets straighter. Standing foot supports you. Lots of energy. Hips forward. Heart forward and up. Arms reach up and you're reaching out longer. So creating this bigger, more expansive space where you are stronger, more capable. At the very least, you maybe like look a little bit wilder. That can be fun. Take a big breath in. And relax your arms down. Okay. You're going to take your hand and you're going to reach to hold the inside of your foot. Then lift your inner thighs. Drive that standing foot down. You're going to create that circular energy. And I'm going to lift my ribs away from my hips. I'm going to kick the foot in my hand so that I stretch the chest. But I gotta lift the inner thighs so I keep everything facing forward. And I can stay here, I can stay vertical. As I start to change the orientation of my circular shape, I don't change the circular shape. And that's part of what helps. Lift those inner thighs. And come back towards vertical. Try to put that and then give like a little bump and wiggle around. Just in case things get stuck with the intention that we have them loosened up and a little bit on the other side. I'm going to hold the inside of my foot. Why do I hold the inside of my foot? The tendency is for the knee to go out there. If I'm lifting the inside of the foot, I'm lifting the inner thigh lining back here. If I'm lifting the outside, I have a tendency to fire hyper. So why? Oh, goodness. Oh, man. All right, so since you've all probably been standing there, it's really lovely and well balanced. Hold on, push the foot back, lift those inner thighs, drive that standing foot down. You can reach out or you can hold on to something. And continuing the circular energy, even as I change this orientation in space. Lifting up and forward. And standing it up. Relaxing and giving it a bounce and a wiggle. Totally forgot about the block. I feel like there was a reason I wanted a block. There is. If you have a block or a protein powder jug or a stack of books or something, if you want 2 blocks, if that's what your triangle we want you to have, we're going to go for that. Let's go wide legs. I'm going to go over towards the right side. I'm going to put the block behind my foot. And I will confess to you that I spent about a decade or so practicing yoga and going into classes and like some people would say put the block behind your foot. Some people would say put the block in front of your foot. But then it's people like figure out why it's needed any sort of position. When you come down and we have the block forward, we have our arms forward and we're somewhat in a closed off space, right? We have our arms back. You've already orientated yourself with a more open chest. So that can be really helpful. So let's try it out. Go ahead and shift your hips back and then take your hand down to behind your foot. And then you can push down into that bottom arm, maybe your top arm up. If you wanted to switch the block over, you say, I can still have my chest open. I don't understand what this is actually changing. Sometimes it doesn't actually change. I can really feel like my arm bone moves forward. Now my arm bone is slightly behind me, and even that little bit can make a difference. Why are we strong in the bottom arm? Not only because it's sinking down into the shoulder joint, but it also tones the triceps and the leg back muscles. So stronger arms give personality for that bottom. belly drawing in. And then switch sides. Take the face to the other side, kind of block. Change your foot. And then, even like the Buddha said, question everything that I say, so you can always test things out and say, I don't know, I'm not sure if that actually does anything different. Maybe you do really like it back here. Maybe you find a little bit more space there. I mean, it's a subtle difference for most of us, right? Like you're like, how, what difference there is there, but if there's a little bit of good difference, that can pushing down on the bottom arm here, pulling your tricep, even if it doesn't feel like it's anything, it's a little sweaty, a little bit is better than none, right? So that's a little bit stronger arms and bones. Okay, we're going to switch back to the right side. You're going to take the box with you again. And then just go ahead and put it wherever. So I'm going to try both ways. So triangle pretty much has that kind of intention, that kind of space going on where you just kind of want to be open. That's our basic triangle. There's variations, but that's pretty much where we go. There's one kind of intention and purpose going in there. Side angle is a little bit different. There's all sorts of variations, right? You've got the bind one, you've got the half bind one, you got the arm straight up, and you got the arm over. So when I come down here, I always talk about, you want to push down in that elbow, so you're not down in the shoulder. But there is if you have the space, you can get the arm down either behind or in front. Why would you want to have the arm in front, since we know that having the arm behind is more likely to get my chest open? Here's the thing, if I have the arm in front, I can push my arm into my leg and create more of this. It also creates that pressure of the arm against the leg that you use to hold yourself up in the bind. So you can play with that if you have a bind, if you're interested in that, so you feel that arm bone pushing into the leg bones, lift your chest up. That's a nice place to be. Now here, this shoulder starts to get a little weird, right? Put it behind. Now I have more space to stretch out this side. Do you feel? I really feel it. I really feel like I need to be able to kind of open the upper back a little bit more in order to get this side stretch. If I have it here, I can still open the upper back, but that's when I end up starting to fold down. Come on up. Weird workshop-y, spend too much time, ask too many questions, and get a little lost. But yeah, so there's a different intention, there's a different purpose for each thing. So sometimes we make these little adjustments, like we'll put it here, put it there, try it this way, try it that way, and then on your body you might decide that, out of all of the options, the one works for all of the different reasons. So go ahead and bend in, you can put the block behind or in front and start off with, check it out, try to push down in this bottom arm and lift it, this is weird. Now I feel like my knee's gonna go places too. This time here, pushing. Chest up, even in the half. Out of bind, you can work out too, but it's really that arm pushing into your leg is part of how you hold yourself up there. You can try the extension too. Once I started paying attention, it just feels so strange to do it the other way. You can still have the chest open and lifted, yeah? Exhale. Sit back in chair pose. This is the thing. So it's not the worst thing in the world to have your knee in front of your foot, right? Even if you have especially on the one leg, just go ahead and pop your knee into your foot. Probably does not hurt. No discomfort, especially because you're not putting pressure forward. It's no real significance. But if I put both knees forward, you start to feel it. So as I put the weight back, then the pressure goes down into these bones that we're stacking more or less than these past. There's still some consistency in that force going down and having more bones stacked. Like that and take your arms out. And then just for fun, since we were practicing it with all the lunges and stuff, so you can reach from your heart up into your hands. Lengthen a little bit more. Take a big breath in. And breathe out. And then stand it up so your hips moving forward, bringing your hands down into your heart. And then from here, we'll go into downward dog. So we're going to start working it back down towards the ground. Take your hands down. Move your feet back. Downward loving dog. On down into those hands. Relax your heels. Feel your hips floating up. Finding more expansion in this body. Take breath in. Take breath out. And relax your knees down. Come to the feet. Bring your legs out in front of you. Now, if I have my hands facing back like this, yes, I can get my chest more open. I'm not as strong here. There's a tendency to get a little bit more hyperextension in the elbows. Having arms out to the side is also going to help you to tone those triceps and feel a little bit more stronger to your chest. But if you can get your hands forward, it's going to take even more of that strong tone with the triceps and to relax the back muscles together to get your chest lifted up. So hands back. Why not so good for you? Just because it doesn't work. Hands out, go slightly forward. So you can stay here with your bum on the ground. You can lift that bum up, and now that you have all of that strength and that power and that engagement in your upper back and your shoulders, down and lift your hips and your heart up. Take breath in. The right side, so my left shin is more or less parallel with the right shin is more or less parallel with the side. My foot is not in my right hip. I'm going to start walking the hands back. I want to leave the knee down. Why? So that it's not floating up there in crazy dangerous spaces like the air. But your hip can go up because your hip is a much more stable thing. You're going to come back. You might come back to forearms or just one forearm. You might have some space to lay all the way down. Exhale. And then you're going to take your right arm, cross it over the body, and then use both of those hands together and kind of doggy paddle your way up and just switch sides. So you're going to have your right shin forward, your left shin by your side. You won't have your foot in by your hip. Why? I want to open up my knee a little bit. And then start to go back. Leave the knee down. You can let the hip go up if you like. Go down just so far as feels good to you. I just had to adjust a little bit to make sure that my knee is down on the ground. You may also notice that, so I go, shoot, that position wasn't perfect the first way that I had it set up. It's kind of like being human and going about life. It wasn't perfect the first way I had it set up. Ooh. One more round of breath. And then take your left hand over, go ahead and doggy paddle your way up to a seat. We're actually just going to take this left leg and slide it further back. We're going to come up into pigeon pose. So now I'm going to adjust where I'm up on my shin. My knee faces out, not directly forward, but I have this rotation open with my hips. And then my back foot comes directly back behind me because if it points in, I'm going to roll over towards my left hip. If it points out, I'm going to roll over towards my right. So having it directly back is going to help me stay open here. If you want to put something underneath your pelvis or your hips or your thigh or anything, keep yourself stable. You can even just put the block and touch it. Sometimes that makes a world of difference. And then coming down, reach your elbows. breath. Up. You're going to sit over onto your right hip and then swing your left leg up and down. Now if you can have both legs folded in and tossed open and you're not sitting over on this foot, you've got both hips more or less even great. You can take your, if this is just weird, send the bottom leg out in front of you. But if you can have them both in, move it a little bit more outer hip stretch as you twist over towards your left. I'm going to go over my top leg. Lifting behind your ears for a long spine and softening your belly to allow the rotation to develop. One more exhale. And just a quick inhale to the front, exhale to the right. Take your right leg and slide it back behind you. We're going to shift into pigeon on the other side. I'm going to get up and having both hips lifted, my toe space behind me, my knee is open. Lifting down onto the forearms. About 2 more breaths. Right, so pop yourself up. You're going to sit over onto your left hip. Slide the right leg around. Try to be on both hips. Your foot will lift in the spine and then twist over. Right. Those lower ribs relax. Exhale. Inhale, lift that. Exhale, twist over towards the left. Inhale out of it. And unwind your legs. We're going to go down onto our backs for a moment. Not quite down there for the count yet, but lay yourself down. And tie a little knot with the body. So slide your right foot in the little tent made by your left leg. Get your right knee as close to your left foot as you can. You can use your hand to hold on to your right foot or your left leg. We'll do it if you lose your foot on the ground. It's okay to be rolled over to allow that knee to be on the ground. Not so okay to have the knee floating. Uncharted waters there. You're going to take your right arm, bring it up back and behind your head, and then scooch your right arm as much to the left as possible so you're longer on that right side. Let your inner armpit soften so your outer armpit can get a bigger stretch, get more space. Let yourself rest down. If you can think about it, you can think about magnetizing your right hip point upward towards your belly button. You might get a little bit more space open in the middle of your right thigh. It's a weird thing to think about. It's a weird thing to cue the body into, but it might give you a little bit more stretch if you have the space for it. More breath. Unwind your right arm, let the blood come back in it. Unwind your right leg, come back to the center, just shift your hips around a little bit, maybe wiggle and just let them settle out of whatever things you're not in that weird twist. And then your left foot is going to go in that little cave built by your right leg. Bring your right knee or left knee as close to the right foot as possible. You might use your hand or your foot to hold on to it, and then the left arm comes behind the head and then scooch it over towards the right as much as is reasonably comfortable to you. It's okay for the hips to kind of roll over towards the left a little bit. Leave the left knee down. Eventually your hips might start to relax back down towards the floor again, or that right hip might start to relax down towards the floor. It's up to you, or maybe up to whether or not you can make the body recognize this idea. Can you lift the left hip point upwards towards your belly buttons ever so slightly? And if you're feeling plenty of stretch where you're at and that's too much, then that's great. Then you don't need to layer in as many things in order to get some space opened up. One more exhale. Release your left arm, let the blood flow back into it. Unwind your left leg. Bring the hips to neutral, give them a little wiggle and shimmy, and then let your knees knock against each other for a moment. You're gonna come into bridge pose. Bringing your heels in close by your hips, arms by your sides, wiggle your shoulders under your back so the heart's already up higher. You already have a heart opening shape. And then you'll make it more heart opening by lifting your hips, and then maybe you can wiggle your shoulder in more. And then if you want to bring your hands together, you can, or press them down to the floor, but push down into your feet. Lift your inner thigh muscles into your hips so you're a little stronger and better aligned in those legs. Maybe your heart starts to push up towards your nose a little bit more. Take a big breath in and relax your shoulders. Let your hips come down. Bring your knees in your chest and rock yourself up to a seat. Okay, we are going to, remember when I was talking about the hands here? If your hands are facing back, you're also going to feel that your shoulder blades can kind of jam into the spine a little bit more. If my hands face forward, I have to be like stronger about bringing the shoulder blades together. You can try it. Hands back and like they just get squeezier, not quite as squeezy. So when we're going to do bow pose, and we did dancer's pose. There's something called standing bow pose, and we did dancer's pose. So grab the inside of your leg because it's going to open your chest. It's going to help the inner thighs lift up and help keep your legs a little bit close together, or a little bit more in line. It kind of does the opposite in regular bow. What you want to, if you grab the outer thigh or the inner thigh in regular bow, pinchy shoulder blades because now your arms are further back, and see how it starts to press my feet out because my arms are like, that's too close back behind us, Bob. That's not comfy, I don't like it. Whereas if I hold the outside, now I have a little bit more open chest, and it can more like press with my hands inward. Your legs aren't gonna get super far away down here. I mean, they can, and you still wanna feel the inner thighs lifting up, but they aren't gonna like go wonky out to the side. They're gonna stay mostly, at least symmetrical going into this, yeah? Okay, so grab the outsides of your feet, and then you're gonna push down into your pelvis, so your knees are gonna hover off the ground. Your heart is gonna start to hover up off of the ground, and then start to kick into your feet with your chest. So that expansiveness in the body. And soften down. I'm gonna go down a little bit more towards my ankles, feels a little bit better in my knees there. I'm gonna lift my hips up just a tiny bit, so it's gonna be those little booty scoops. Yeah, so from here, just a little bit. And then that's gonna give me a little bit further like propulsion into this. So go from a little booty scoop to go down, up. Maybe you like that. Maybe you don't. Okay, if you hate it, you do the booty scoop. Lift your inner thighs, lift the chest up and forward. Big breath in. Lower it down, exhale. Gently relax those knees. You're gonna make a pillow for your head with your hands. You can wiggle your heels side to side. Relax around the lower back. And then relax the feet down, hands come in, push yourself up and back towards child's pose. Once you get there, you might glide your hips a little bit side to side. It's helping to loosen up any tightness from the bow pose. Releasing any pressure back there. Earlier we did it to loosen up sticky spots from maybe not moving so much, and now we did it to loosen up the sticky spots that happen when we move. We're damned if we do, damned if we don't. One more exhale. Start to walk yourself up to a seat. Take your legs, swing them out in front of you. We're gonna take, go to crisscross applesauce. Just easy seat, cross your legs, and then switch the cross of your legs so you're on the one that doesn't feel quite as good. So we end on the one that feels a little bit better. And then you can take your hands behind you to move yourself forward into a fold, or start taking the hands out and relaxing yourself down. Remembering that these forward folds are not about putting your face on the floor. It's, can I relax my back? Finding that wide feeling in the lower back, perhaps. One more exhale. Draw yourself up. Switch the cross of your legs. Forward again. This one feels a little bit more on point. bit of a rock around in the hips. Open the knees up, feet up. Make happy baby, holding your feet or holding onto the backs of your thighs. Exposed, softer rather than inward. Go ahead and open them up. We're going to leave the feet about mat width apart, or at least wider than your hips. And then let both of your knees roll over towards the right side. I'm going to keep your toes drawn up towards your shins, just to keep the ankles and knees aligned a little bit. Let the legs relax, let the belly open up, let the thigh open up. One more exhale. And then to the other side. Rolling the legs over towards the left. One more breath out. The legs up, and you're going to take both knees over to the right, but this time curl them inwards to do a little bit more of a slow, soft twist. And then press a little bit into your right arm so the left arm opens up. Let your heart open, let your belly soften, let your body start to melt. Releasing some of the control that you've been holding on to so tightly. All of this very deliberate, hard-working awareness, presence. A little bit more into the receiving end. Relaxing, being held by the floor. Start to bring your knees over towards the other side, just doing a similarly position twist in the other direction. A little pressure into the back of the left arm, so let the right arm open up more, and then let it all go. One more exhale. And coming back to the center. You can let your knees knock against each other or start to slide your legs out, finding Shavasana. Do whatever you need to do to set yourself up for a really well-supported rest, feeling nice and cozy. And if you are having to lay on your back, maybe you give a little snuggle of your shoulder blades towards each other underneath your heart so it's a little more open. settling into this beautiful rest. body roll over to one side, taking this moment to turn inwards and pause in gratitude for your practice, for being able to gather this way. And coming up to find your own version of a comfortable seat.
Thank you.